Great to have you back. Okay, now just in case you're wondering what you're gonna get to see in this video, you're gonna get to see some landmarks in Mombasa, because last time we saw the road and the beautiful scenery. Now we're gonna go and sightseeing and see some cool, nice, old landmarks. So let's get into that. Okay, to pick up where we left off when we were entering inside Mombasa. Now, when you're entering Mombasa, you should see the Indian Ocean, and it's really nice. And as far as the eyes goes, you can just see the Indian Ocean. It's really cool, and there are nice trees. And at the back, you can see some tall buildings from afar. Okay, so after a long drive, my mom and I were hyped that we had finally reached Mombasa. Now we were over there. We were happy. We were excited, and we were taking selfies. And then we realized that, wait a minute, we just traveled 500 kilometers. We should be tired. Then we did the tired. So yeah, quick save, huh? Okay, so we're entering Mombasa. You can see nice and tall buildings. You can see so many buildings. But one thing to pay attention to is that all buildings and houses and any structure that stands next to the road is blue and white. And that was pretty cool. That's another way to tell if you're in Mombasa. Although I don't know why you'd be in Mombasa and you don't know you're in Mombasa, but you would be in Mombasa because you know you're in Mombasa. So you're there and you can see the blue and white buildings. Now after we go a bit more ahead, then we can see the first landmark, the first sight to see. That is something called Pembe Zandovu. That's Swahili for the horns of an elephant. Now you can see that there are two. There's one on the road that we are and one on the opposite road. Now the one we are on was first built in 1952 for Queen Elizabeth for coming to Kenya, but unfortunately her father passed away at that time, so she had to rush back and she could not visit Mombasa and see the Pembe Zandovu. Now, the other set was built in 1956 for her sister, Princess Margaret. Yeah, but she came, she saw them, and it was quite a beautiful scene to see. And since then, they have been there, made of aluminium, painted white with ivory. Now, it's a gate to show you are now officially in Mombasa town. How's that for a history lesson, eh? Anyways, now we passed that. We're now heading into the center of the town, where first we encounter a mosque, which is pretty nice because in Mombasa you get to see a lot of mosques, because over there most population is of Muslims, but that's why there are so many mosques in each and every corner of Mombasa, and that's pretty nice. This was a nice and big mosque. Then we're in town and we go further and further. Alright, so another thing is that my sister was ready to accommodate us, who lives in Mombasa, so she was accommodating us. So we were heading towards her house, and we see some cool graffiti. I mean, the graffiti is cool, it's nice. The first one we see writes Pamoja, which means, together. Then it shows that with prayer we can overcome everything, and you can see people from different religions standing together, painted together. The next one that we come to is one graffiti on a building that says "Stay home and stay safe," which is nice. Although I didn't get a video, I got a picture, but a picture is good enough. Let me give it space. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? I know. And I wish I could do a graffiti. My whole house would be graffiti. Anyways, the third one we see is a tribute to all the doctors and nurses of Kenya who actually treated the people from the illness. So you can see a doctor holding Kenya like a baby, and then you can see a nurse next to her. So it's a really nice tribute, and it's really nice graffiti. Okay, now passing the graffiti and all that stuff, we get a structure called Nyali Bridge. Nyali Bridge. It's actually a cool bridge. It's what connects the Mombasa island to the mainland of Kenya. That's what it was built for, because Kenya has a part of Mombasa, and then it has two other islands, which one of them is connected by a bridge that's called Mombasa Island, and the other one is called South Coast, which is not connected by a bridge, but it's transported by ferry. So we were on this bridge, and when you're on the bridge you can see the vast ocean, you know, the really cool ocean. Although while I was recording, my view was kind of getting obstructed by the railings of the bridge, but never mind, safety first. Although you can get a bit to see, so I count that as, yeah, we got something. Now another thing Kenya is known for is for all the greenery it has. That is why there is a green in the flag of Kenya. Now when we were going, we were headed towards our sister's house. I saw so many different varieties of plants grown in small pots, which is pretty good that it converts our carbon dioxide into oxygen and all that stuff. So it really gave fresh air. That is why in Mombasa Island you get fresh air, because there's so many trees and there's so many greenery. Now after all that, we say it's best to first stop over at the supermarket. That's right, not just any market, the supermarket. Now that's where Superman goes to buy his stuff. Okay, so we enter the supermarket, and the first thing we see are so many fresh fruits and vegetables, which is overwhelming. So we get shopping. We first get the apples, we get the watermelon. My sister stops me from running away with the trolley by standing right in front of it. Then we get some oranges, then we get some bananas. Then I'm told to go and get them priced, so I go. As I'm getting them priced and weighed, my mom leaves me, and I have to rush back to her like a kid who has been left alone in a mall. Now after rushing back to my mom, we get some fresh juice, and obviously after looking at so much healthy food, we needed some junk. Not just any junk, but special junk. So we ended up in Charlie's Chocolate Factory, where we saw all kinds of varieties of chocolate, and man, could I get clothes in that supermarket and stay for a day. I would only be in the chocolate section. Now we get our chocolate, we put it over the fresh fruits, so we can remember that before, the chocolate comes first, and we gotta eat them because we can eat the fruits later, but not the chocolate. Then we got some Mentos, because why not? I wanted to try the Coke and Mentos thing, but it would have made a mess, and I was refused, so sorry, no science experiment this time. But we left the supermarket, we were back on the road, and we were on our way to my sister's house, and we went, actually it was a pretty nice weather and a nice road. So one thing about Mombasa Island is the roads are clean. It has so many greenery, it has trees, it has nice fences made out of bush, it has nice grass, it has a nice road, it has nice weather. It's a great place. Then we get to the most interesting part. That is a roundabout with frogs playing the musical instruments, but with masks on their face, and for obvious reasons, yeah. But now I'm curious, how can frogs play the musical instruments while wearing a mask? I mean, frogs playing the musical instrument? Sure, why not? It's not impossible. But wearing masks and playing them, that's totally impossible. That's unbelievable. Further research into that, okay? Until then, let's continue. Okay, we cannot continue because, how do I put this? I got so tired from the day that I forgot documenting the rest of the day. And on my defense, my camera's battery was dying too. So sorry you don't get to see that the rest of that day. But I do wake up the next morning, and here's a joke for you. I wake up looking like this. I don't know why, but that's how I wake up. So I wake up, I go out, and I find this. A flat tire. And I was just tired. Now, it was my duty as the son to go and change the tire because I'm the hero. Or I was just told to go and change the tire, so I had no other options. So yeah, I went to change the tire at first. Opened the tires, I lifted it up, the car, not the tire, the car. I took out the tire. I put in the spare tire. I closed the tire. I put down the car. I tightened it. I was done. We see the reason for the flat tire, and you can see my dirty hands. So I get tired. No need for morning workout. Then I go wash up myself, I go get ready, and the next thing, we're outside the house and we're back on the road because we are going sightseeing, as I said. Okay, so this time I got a picture of the frogs wearing surgical masks playing the instrument. Now tell me, how's that possible? Anyways, so since I'm on the opposite side, I had to record it from a long distance, but we do see an amusement park, but from the front side, so you can't see much in the inside. But then, surprise, surprise, in my last video I said something.
Okay, now since we're at the end of part 1, you must be wondering who this is. Well, to find that out, stick for part 2.
And here's part 2, so let me reveal that person. That person is my niece. Yep, the person sitting next to me in the car is my niece. Now that that reveal's out of the way, the second reveal is that we were going to the beach. So we were making our way towards the beach. So first we had to get in the hotel, then from the hotel we had to get into the beach. So we entered this really nice hotel, and it's really cool and nice. So we made our way through that hotel first, then we went towards the pool, and the pool was really nice and big and blue, which most pools are. Unfortunately, we could not swim due to obvious reasons now, but the pool had a killer view. Like, you could see coconut trees growing in front of it, and then you could see the ocean right over there. So you're swimming and you can just see any ships or boats passing right in front of you, like far, but not near, far. And it had that's why I liked the view. So we took a bit of pictures. Time for some pictures reveal. And I have to move here so I can give that space. And that was really nice. I like that picture. Yeah, so then we started making our way towards the beach for what we came for, to soak our feet in the ocean water and to enjoy the cool breeze. Now, as we were making our way, unfortunately, the beach was closed due to obvious reasons. So we could not go next to the beach. So me and my mom ended up being sad and crying that we miss you, beach, we want to come to you. But unfortunately we couldn't. So I said, let me just get a cool, nice clip of the beach. And when I took that clip, I saw camels that are bored and they are just sleeping over there on the beach. And I said, bored camels, if I was there, you would not have been bored. I'm sorry, my buddy, but we'll come back next time. So yeah. Now, since we could not go to the beach, we now started making our way out of the hotel. But first we see these really tall coconut trees. As I said, they were coconut trees over there. So they were being grown and they were being harvested. After we go a bit further, we see the guys who were harvesting that coconut. So they were kind enough to let me record them as they were doing their work of chopping. Then they let me take a picture with them. Pretty cool. That is the first time I've ever spoken or recorded someone else on a vlog. So that's an accomplishment for me because I was kind of nervous talking. Now, we went ahead towards the playground because that's where my niece and my small sister were. They were playing around in the slides and swings and all those stuff. Now, my small sister is scared of the slide. I don't even know why. So first of all, she's scared. She doesn't want to slide. We give her so much motivation. She doesn't want to do it. She cries. She gets scared. She says, "I'm doing it," but she doesn't do it. "I'm doing it. I'm not. I'm doing it. I'm not." Then, till my niece had to sit behind her and make her slide. That's when she slid. But she was scary loud, like that. But it was quite an accomplishment for her too. So we both accomplished something that day. I spoke to people, and she went on a slide. Okay, it was time to say bye-bye to the hotel because we were now leaving. It was quite a sunny and beautiful day, so we had to leave and go to other places while we had that nice weather. So as I'm inside, I come across a sticker saying 1.5 meter distance between individuals. So I make my mom stand at the sticker and I try to move what is approximately 1.5. But as I start going behind, my mom starts coming forward. So I have to keep walking behind until my mom lifts her hand to warn me that look out. And when I turn, I see a table, which I almost tripped on. So naturally, what a human being would do, we laughed like crazy. Yeah, we did. Like responsible adults, we both laughed. Okay, since you know my sister is scared of sliding, she tries her luck to run down a slide, which was actually next to the staircase. It wasn't a playing slide, it was just for the trolleys and that kind of stuff. So she jogs it down it. You'll see and you'll understand. Just take a look. Okay, now that's done. We took some pictures. Now, after that, we were back on the road. We fixed the tire and we went to Mombasa town to my grandmom's sister's house. So technically, also my grandmom's house. So we went there. My small sister couldn't get enough of playing, so she naturally took out her toy and she started playing around with it. So I got bored and I went and did something interesting of my own. I went to play with the chubbiest cat I've ever seen. So I start playing around with it and I disturb it and it got me quite a bit. I had some scratches on my hand. So after I boarded the cat, it got bored of me, it ran away, and I was left with nothing else to do. But then an idea came up. Ding! I decided to show you some cool antiques in that house because my grandmoms have been living in that specific house since they were young. So they do have some antiques. I decided to show you guys some of the cool antiques, and we start with number one, which is probably my favorite and which I've seen for since I was born. But my grandmom says that it was there since she was young. This elephant. It's a nice elephant made of wood. It's quite heavy. It's been there since I was small, since she was young. Enough of the elephant. That is my personal favorite. We get another cupboard which has some small antiques. Then we see the best antique, that is a black crow. Yep, just over there eating and flying away. I got that crow, although I had to hide and take it. But it is an antique in what way? It's not an antique. It's actually pretty common in Mombasa. So we're in Mombasa. Now after the crow, we see this big old cupboard, which is actually my personal favorite, my second personal favorite, and it's in good shape. It has nice craftsmanship, it has this nice mirror. Oh, and it's been in the same position for almost my whole life. And a cool secret, my grandmom hides candy and sweets inside, so when we used to go there when we were kids, we used to get some. Although now we don't get them because we're now not kids, but no problem, it's not like I miss them or anything. Now, I'm getting the vibe that this is not the sightseeing and landmarks that you said you're gonna show us, but don't worry, fear not, I'm here. Now, I hear your call, so we have a cup of tea and we leave and we're on the road. First thing we see is Mombasa market, where inside there are so many vendors selling different kind of stuff, mainly vegetables and fruits, or fruits and vegetables as it said. Fruits and vegetables, vegetables and fruits. That's the main thing that's sold inside. But there are also other stuff like clothes and also all kinds of stuff. That's why it's called a market. It's a marketplace. So we passed that. So we reach a nice garden that's actually close to a place called Fort Jesus. You can Google it to find out more information, but I'm gonna give you the information that I know. So this garden is just outside Fort Jesus, which is now a museum. So before I recorded Fort Jesus, I recorded this big kettle at this roundabout, and the reason why there's this big kettle in front of there is because it was actually thought of by the people who used to sell coffee or tea outside Fort Jesus. So it was built in 1987, if I'm not wrong. It was built in 1987 to show how coffee or tea brings two or more individuals together to have a talk and a conversation. Okay, now back to Fort Jesus. Now you can see Fort Jesus is quite a big place. It was actually built in 1593, which is more than 400 years old, and it's a well-preserved Portuguese military like foundation, and it was built by King Philip I from Portugal. It was actually made to protect the port of Mombasa. So that's why when we're leaving, you can see some cannons. Now I don't know if these cannons are real or they were just made fake to keep over there, but pretty nice cannons, right? Now we're going towards a lighthouse. Now before we reach the lighthouse, we go through a nice garden which is covered by so many trees to give it its cool shade and cool air, and when you put the window down you can just get some nice and cool breeze. So we passed that, we passed a nice mosque, and we passed some tall buildings. Then we reach the lighthouse, which is pretty self-explanatory. The lighthouse, a house with a light inside it, obviously. Okay, now as you're entering inside the lighthouse, you can now catch a small glimpse of a ferry transporting people from this island to South Coast, where I said where I said there are two islands. One is Mombasa Island, one is South Coast. So it's transporting people to South Coast. Now we are headed inside the lighthouse, but unfortunately we find out that it's still closed due to obvious reasons. Now we go a bit inside because we're allowed to go a bit inside and take a turn. So we go a bit inside, we see how nice it is, because they closed it down to initially build it at first, to rebuild, to upgrade it. So we see how they've upgraded, nice looking and so awesome, that unfortunately it was not open, so we could not go more inside. But we came out and we're back in the town. We stopped by a bakery to get some stuff. The bakery was nice, it was like a cafe. We got our stuff, we left the bakery, then we see a football ground where kids and teens are playing football, which is nice. And they're playing football, and me, my sister and my niece are in the car enjoying some popcorn. Now that we were heading home, I see my small sister was lost outside. Not lost. I mean, she was in the car with me, but her eyes and her brain was all focused outside, so she was lost in that sense. Yes, I know that sounded weird, but she was lost. She was looking outside and she did not pay attention inside the car. Then we can see that it's becoming night. It's heading to nighttime. We reach home. It's nighttime. We have a cup of tea. Sit, watch some Netflix. Then I started goofing around with. Then I started goofing around with a mirror and my phone. 'Cause why not? Then I get tired by playing and then I hit the bed. Okay, now that marks the end of part 2. We went sightseeing to see a few places. I hope you liked it. You got to see some stuff in Mombasa. Now before you leave, I have a quick announcement. But I won't say it, someone else will say it for me, and that is
Subscribe to Amysterious Malik.
Yep, subscribe to Amysterious Malik. Those were 2 little fans of mine who actually wanted to see me and say that they watched my whole video, all my videos, and they liked them and they spoke with me. So in my part 3, I make my way to go and visit them and just see how they are and what they like about my videos, which is kind of flattering and cool. So you guys, you should come and see that. And I'll be making part 3 soon enough. So stick for that. If you've not subscribed, subscribe so you can get notified when I post it. Until my part 3, bye.